Hi, boys and girls. Here is another new sound for you. Let's read our target. I can read and spell words with the consonant cluster DGE that says J. Whew. This one is a crazy one today. So, first of all, consonant cluster is a group of consonants. You can see there's a vowel in there too. So, it's a group of letters, and they're all going to make a special sound. So you do not hear the D, you don't hear a D, you don't hear the G, G, and you don't hear the E, A, or E. Basically, DGE says J, which is kind of crazy because your little brains are going to want to look at the D, say the D sound, look at the G and the E and say their sound. So this one's a tricky guy. Once you get the hang of it, you'll find it to be simple, but at first it looks tough. DGE just says J. So when you read, you're going to fingerspell. When you spell, you're going to fingerspell again and use neat handwriting. And DGE does have a special rule. It only comes after a short vowel. So you are never going to start a word with a DGE. That would be silly. Don't ever do that. You're only going to have it after the short vowel. Now, yesterday, we talked about a double F after a short vowel, and we reviewed short vowels. So we will do the same today. Here are my vowels. Say them with me. A, E, I, O, U. And short means they make a special sound. A, I, A. Now, when you have a short vowel, like an A, I, and then you hear a J sound, you do not put a J. You put this crazy looking thing, D-G-E. And those letters together, they're going to say J. So if I were to put my thumb up and start fingerspelling, I would get B-A-J, badge. Like the police officer showed me his badge. So this will take a little getting used to, but I promise with some practice, you'll get super good at it. Let's look again. Here's my same word. Fingers up. Let's fingerspell. B-A-J, badge. Here next door, we have fingers up. H-A-J, hedge. A hedge is another word for a bush, but you can notice here's my a short vowel, and I don't put a J. I put a D-G-E. Here's my next one. Fingers up. L-A-J, ledge. Look at that tree on the ledge. DGE says J after a short vowel. And here we have fingers up. W-A-J, wedge. Like I might put a wedge under the door to keep it open. Each one of these has a DGE. Notice where it is at the end after a short vowel. That is where you will only see it. And it says the J sound. So some review words that we've done in the past. Let's do it. Fingers up. Let's go across the top. Gr-a-f, gruff. St-a-f, stuff. St-if, stiff. Next row. W-eat, wheat. R-eam, ream. Wash, wash. Next row. P-art, ed, parted. Graze, graze. B-oy, boy. And last row, form, form. Planned, planned. Cooled, cooled. So make sure you take a little extra time today to pause this video on this screen so that you can go through and fingerspell these words by yourself. Now remember, if you are getting so good that you can just read them, that'll be your time to just go through and read. So it might sound like this. I might know a few of these. So I might say gruff, stuff, stiff. And then maybe I don't know this one. That's when I take out my finger and go, eat, wheat. Because as we move through first grade, the goal is to be able to read and just say a word. Now for ESP, remember, we do practice fingerspelling. That's just so that we know what to do when we get to a word that we don't know. Instead of just sitting there staring at it, that doesn't help. We take out our fingers and we start fingerspelling. But if you know these words, now's your time to pause and just read through them or fingerspell the ones that you don't know. All right, so now you are going to need a notebook or a whiteboard. We will fingerspell some DGE words, and your first one is bridge. So let's put our fingers up. You say bridge. Here we go. Bridge. Bridge. Remember that J is a DGE. If you need to, write it on your paper or your board, DGE, so you don't forget it. Bridge. Bridge. Pause this video if you need extra time. BR is my blend. I is my short vowel, and there's my J, not a J. DGE. Next one is something tasty, fudge. So you say fudge, fingers up, fudge, 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 fudge. FUDGE. Now notice how there's no double F. I know some friends out there started with the double F because we just did that yesterday. We never, ever, ever start a word with a double F. Do you remember when we use that? After a short vowel in a one-syllable word. So this F comes before the short vowel. We do not start with a double F. So if you made that mistake, that's okay. Now we talked about it. Only double F after a short vowel. Here's your next one, smudge. Fingers up, let's do it. Smudge, smudge. Like I smudge, I make a smudge on my paper with my marker. Smudge. Is my short vowel. J, remember D-G-E. Looks crazy. S-M-U-D-G-E. Smudge. All right, your next one, smidge. S-M-I-J. Smidge. S-M-I-J. Smidge. You might say, like if I'm talking about how tall you are, I might say, oh, you're a smidge over 5'2". So it means like a little bit. Smidge, smidge. And you should have SM for sm, I for I, DGE for ja. And your last one, we say this in the morning, or it's just a promise. Pledge. Fingers up, let's do it. Pledge, pledge. I pledge to you that we will have lunch in the lunchroom, which means I promise you. Pledge, pledge. PL is my blend, E is my short vowel, and J is DGE. So kind of a tricky one today, but you did fantastic. Of course, like always, it's your turn. So I want to see you work with DGE. There are some stories for you to read, some questions for you to answer. Make sure if you need help, you either contact your teacher or you ask your mom or dad or an older brother and sister. A lot of these rules are tricky, and they might even be rules that your family members don't know. So you could start quizzing your family. You could ask them, hey, what letter says ja, or what letters say ja after a short vowel? I bet you can fool some of your family members because you now know it's a DGE. You are so wonderful. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow for our next ESP sound.